Safe Haven. Written by Ellen Hoil. Narrated by Leslie Mcdonel. Chapter 1. Brigid watched as the woman moved past the window, reading as she walked. She would pass the store every 2 hours or so, her head always down, buried in her book. It appeared the woman didn't notice anything around her. Something about the woman resonated with Brigid. How can anybody read and walk without bumping into things? What is she reading that is so engrossing? The woman was already walking each morning when Brigid opened her shop and was still there when she went home at night. She began timing the sightings and noticed they came with a general regularity. She could set her watch by when the woman passed the window. Every 40 minutes. About the amount of time it took her to walk from one end of town to the other. She didn't think the woman was homeless. She appeared clean and well kept every day. But the only possession she carried was her book. The woman looked like she could use a few extra meals. Brigid never saw her with food. She wondered if the woman ate at all, and would be more worried if the weather wasn't so warm. Does she just keep going? What does she do at night? She must sleep and clean up somewhere. The time Brigid stood at the front window to catch a glimpse of the woman wasn't much of an interference. The small bookshop was slow this time of year. The droves of summer tourists had yet to arrive, and the locals tended to come by in the late afternoon or evening. Her staff didn't work until then, so she found herself standing in front of the glass windows, watching for the woman. The need to work finally drove her from her vigil. The day the woman's routine changed was a beautiful spring day, cool enough to enjoy, but warm enough to remind that summer was fast approaching. Brigid tried to do her work, but she was sidetracked every time someone walked by the window and it wasn't the woman. Brigid checked her watch. It was over 2 hours since the last time the woman passed the store. Brigid felt as though a lunch date had stood her up. Looking out, Brigid saw the familiar blonde down the street, sitting on one of the benches in front of the deli. From where Brigid stood, it looked as if the stranger was just staring at nothing, just looking into some far-off point. Her book was open on her lap, but she wasn't looking down at the pages. Brigid watched her for several minutes, thinking at some moment she would resume her walk. Brigid thought that maybe she might go into the deli and get some food, or go to the park to read, but the woman didn't move. She merely sat and continued to
Sample complete. Ready to continue?